Glocks. I have kind of a love-hate relationship with the Glock. I love that they're reliable. Just could beat it with a knotted plow line. Cultural reference. And it'll still keep running. Not take very good care of it. Still keeps running. The problem with this one, which is kind of a Franken gun, is that it had parts in it that weren't working well together. And when I was in a Haley Strategic class a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, it really had problems. And trigger pull's like 13 pounds. So we're going to take time out from this and go back to a video from yesterday where I fixed it. Okay, through the magic of the Almar folding knife, it's a sear, by the way, in case you're wondering, I got open my trigger kit, and it's a skimmer trigger, and it's made from Glock parts, so let's open it. If I can do this one-handed. Yes, I'm going to read the instructions, so just in case you're wondering, because, you know, to learn stuff. One of the things that this includes is springs, and the other thing it includes is the firing pin safety, and the cups, and Glock internal parts. So the thing with the skimmer is that it's all factory Glock parts. No super light springs, 5.5 pound connector, but everything has been polished to work together. So a lot of people think, well, I want a really light trigger. It's actually not necessarily a very good idea. And the other thing you'll see is that screw. Focus right there. And what that does is limit the trigger from pivoting too far forward on reset. I think that's what I'm told. And again, factory Glock parts. Here is that if you ever put together a factory Glock right above the trigger pivot hole, that keeps the trigger issues from resetting too much. Okay, so I got the gun strip upper and lower, and it might have needed that hammer right there, so it's a good thing I had two hands. So let's look over our parts. So this is the skimmer. This is the Lone Wolf part. And the Lone Wolf part, I mean, they make good parts. Don't get me wrong. It's just this particular one was a problem. And especially this surface right here had big gouges in it. I don't know if that's from shooting it or what the problem is, but it was a problem. And yeah, I put a 3.5 pound connector in it for class. Would never carry a gun with a 3.5 pound connector in it. Just saying, not a good idea. But you can see how the skimmer has the pin to help with over travel. So, shiny parts? Not shiny parts. And yeah, I needed two hands to get that out because it's kind of crusty. Shiny striker spring? Not shiny striker spring. So we've got new parts. I'm going to put them in, and then we'll see on the range and see how we like it. Thanks for joining for this part of the Skimmer trigger video. So what do I think now that I've shot it a little bit today? The reset is really nice. It's very clean. It's very smooth. I grew up on 1911s with good triggers. I have custom guns with good triggers, so I kind of like them. And that's been my problem with the Glock all along, is that the trigger is difficult sometimes to work compared to my good custom 1911s. And the reset, while very positive, was long. And this has got a shorter reset that the trigger doesn't go, there's not as much take up. So we'll have the camera person close in on the gun So when you look at the gun, put my finger on the trigger, take the slack out, and I fire it, and I reset it, and I come off the trigger, that take up, as we talked about last night, is less. This distance is less, and it's more precise. About 165, 70 bucks, I don't remember, for a skimmer trigger plus, you know, shipping and tax. Is it worth it? I think a stock Glock works just fine. If you like it, good. If you want to do something nice for yourself, like I really would like to customize my gun, and you're going to carry it, I think the skimmer is awesome. It's great. I think it's absolutely worth every dime I paid for it. I had problems with this. Could I have polished up and fixed they weren't factory parts, they were aftermarket parts, and made it work? Maybe. Not as good as this for me. And besides that, how many hours would I have had to take to do this? This drops in. Yes, you can buy lighter triggers, but you shouldn't use that for carry. Stock Glock parts for carry is the best way to go. So in case there's a problem, somebody alleges you accidentally shot them, Glock is not going to support you in court if you change the parts. However, you put stock Glock parts like a skimmer, which are simply polished and not lightened. So skimmer trigger, endorse it? Yeah. Why? Because when you shoot it, it just feels smoother. Well, what about a precise shot? Okay, I'm going to make a really long range precise shot. I'm much more confident than I was 2 weeks ago with my problematic Franken gun. So let's sum up. Franken gun. But if it was a real Glock, it would be a real Glock. Factory Glock parts in it now with a skimmer trigger. Super smooth, super precise, less take up. I know I said something about the reset a minute ago, but I mean take up. Just figure that out. So less take up on the gun when I go to press trigger. If you're looking for a trigger to improve your carry gun, I would not go lighter, I would go skimmer. So Craig Powers at 5 Dogs Range, link in the description. I'll link the skimmer trigger in the description. Get out there, shoot your gun. Please feel free to share, like, subscribe, comment if you wish. And victory and peace. We'll see you later.